Great! You chose to take a tour of Seesaw. You'll leave this video today being able to navigate the Seesaw interface and to be able to identify different icons within Seesaw. We're going to watch a video to explore just that.
We're going to first begin by looking at the blue and white icons on the right-hand side of the screen. You have Journal, Activities, Inbox, Progress, and Blog. Now, Blog can be turned on and off, so if you don't see Blog, that is something in your settings that you can go to with the settings tool here to turn on and off. For the purposes of this video, we're not going to go too in depth of turning on the different settings for now. Let's jump into the journal. Now we're currently on the journal tab. The journal tab shows work in your feed, which this is my feed here on the left-hand side, of completed work that students have done. This would be the place where you can quickly comment, where you can tag, where you can add to the blog, where you can like student work. You can also approve and send back work as students turn it in. You can go to a student-specific name by clicking it on the right side of the screen to see the work just from that student. You can also come to the top of the screen where the calendar icon is, and you can explore student work by date. So you can go to a certain date and you can say, okay, this day has 11 posts, and it will show you all the students that have turned in their work on that specific day, and you can click the work to review it from there. Let's now go into the Activities tab. The Activities tab shows activities that you have assigned to your students. Right now, if you see on the side, it says assigned to class. These are all the activities that I've assigned to my class. It also shows you a quick snapshot of how many responses you have, how many you're waiting for. Oops, sorry about that. How many you're waiting for, how many drafts there are, which means students have started it but not finished it and turned it in, and how many students have not responded to the activity. You can also see when it was assigned and who it was assigned to. You can click the activity itself to go into a little bit more in depth and see the actual students' work down below and click it from there to then give them feedback or approve their assignment that they had completed. Now under activities, you also see here is scheduled. Under this tab, when you create activities, which you can review in our other tutorial video, when you create activities, you can schedule to send it on a different time or day. So if I create all of my activities during my planning period on Monday, I can then assign it on that following Friday for the students to complete the next week. I can schedule it to then be sent out at a later date. This is where those activities would show in your feed underneath the scheduled tab. Now, once that scheduled date arrives and it is assigned to students, it will no longer be in this tab. It will go right over to the Assigned to Class tab. Now, the next tab on the activities larger tab is the Archive section. Archive section are activities that had previously been assigned to students that you no longer want them to see on their activities feed. Now, this may be helpful if you have assigned an assignment and the majority of your students have completed it, but you have 3 or 4 that have not, and you had them complete it in a different form. The only way to get it off of their activities tab, or the easiest way, is to just archive that activity so the students will no longer see it. Their activity still exists for those that have completed it, but they won't see it under the activities tab. The last one is calendar. This is just another way to access the activities, kind of like how we did in journal. I can see the ones that I are planning to assign and the ones that I had already assigned on certain days. So I can just see a quick snapshot of, when I'm assigning activities, or you can go in and see what activities you assigned on that day if you're looking for a specific activity. That's the Activities tab. Let's hop over to the Inbox tab. Now within your Inbox tab, you have a lot of sub-tabs underneath it. With Messages, with Student Announcements, this means that you can send announcements to your whole class. This does not allow for you to send individual messages to students. Seesaw is working on a new update that does have a way for you to communicate to students, but currently there is not a way to just directly through the inbox communicate with students. There is kind of a workaround where you can just send a quick video and assign it to them to communicate that way. But this is for whole class announcements. You will also see that it says family announcements. And this is what it sounds like. It's to send to families. So there is a Seesaw for Families app. And within that app, this is a great way to communicate with families about what's going on at school. You can see with my example here, this is a way our specials team communicated an event they were having and different awards they were handing out. There's also the School Announcements tab, which again is another great way to send out school-wide announcements. So if you have a student council that they want to send something to the whole school and a video, this is a great way to send it out. Just a quick blast to the whole community. Now, let's go over. You can see here where it says notifications. Underneath notifications, this is going to tell you when students have completed an activity. It will tell you, if you see here, it gives you like a report of the parent involvement for the week. It will tell you if parents message you. This is kind of where your notifications live. Now let's go over to the Progress tab. This is a little bit newer feature with Seesaw. They have developed it a little bit further. When you go to the Progress tab, and let me go to some dates when we had students in. Let's do March. Actually, I need to do a date range. Let's do March through the 12th. Okay, so let's do the 8th to the 12th. I can see for this week all the activities that I've assigned and other teachers within my class. You can see there's music activities in here. And I can see a quick snapshot of, okay, I assigned this to 6 students. All of my 6 students have completed it. For this activity, 4 of my 5 have. And some activities you can assign to just specific students. In that case, I only had 1 assigned, and that 1 student did complete the activity. And then, if you notice below it, there are different color circles. There's actually 3 different colors. You're only seeing 2 in this example. There's also a yellow or an orange one that shows a draft. So the student has started something, but they have not turned it in and completed it yet. The green circles with the white check means that the students have completed the activity. The red circle means the students did not even open the activity and start the activity. The last tab here is the Blog tab. Blog tab, again, it can be on or off depending on your settings. Most of them, it's easier to start with it off because you would like to slowly introduce different tools into Seesaw for your students. So I would suggest to start with it off, and as your students build mastery with different tools within Seesaw, then introduce the blog feature. But this is a great way for students to be able to collaborate on their work. And highlight it, and then you can allow them to comment on each other and just add that collaboration piece into your classroom. And the really cool thing with Seesaw, and we'll go this a little bit further, is in another video, is the different creative tools. So it allows students at all abilities to express their learning. So they can take a video, they can draw, they can just use sound. A lot of cool features for students just to kind of show what they're thinking, where they're learning, and express who they are.
Awesome. You're done with that video. Now, if you want to explore more with Seesaw, choose from one of the other videos above. If you're done, hope you enjoyed learning more about Seesaw.